Hi there, how are you? Hope all is well. It's finally here, the Eureka Single Dose Pro review. It's ready for you. It took us some time because we had 4 Burrs sets to test in addition to the stock Burrs. They are called Black Diamond Burrs, new accessories provided by Eureka. Speaking about Eureka, thanks for them for sponsoring this video. And as always, sponsored does not mean that it will affect our opinion. You can be the judge. We will just share our brief opinion, illustrate the advantages, disadvantages, what could be improved. You can be the judge. So without further ado, let's start. So Eureka has been there for a very long time. It's an Italian company for you who do not know. And funny enough, one of our very first few grinders was Eureka Mignon grinder. That one was already used by so many people when we bought it. It was used and it's still being active up to this date. Let me show you. It's here. We got it back from a friend just for this video to illustrate for you. You can see it here. It's chrome finish. Of course, Eureka came miles after this one. They have so many models, but this was the initial Mignon grinder, and it's tiny but mighty. Let's grind some coffee beans, show you how it functions. So this is the main switch. Yep. We put the coffee beans, and you give it a push. It still grinds just at the first day. Now, of course, there are so many new improvements with newer models, but this is just a statement of this grinder. It grinds for Turkish coffee. Our friends, the one who owns it, usually use it for Turkish coffee beans. They only changed the burrs and it's been in use maybe 8 years, almost a decade. So this is just a concept that speaks for itself, how much these grinders are durable, the motor quality, the design quality. They are built to last, made all in Italy. Coming here to the Single Dose Pro. So if you haven't checked recently, Eureka came with the new iterations from different models. We've made a review about the all-purpose, Libra, and Single Dose. So those ones, they come with all-purpose geometry. It's a very interesting video. Feel free to check it out. They are wonderful grinders. For today, the Single Dose Pro, it's kind of their high-end line for single dose. So it comes with wooden cap, wooden base from here. It has the tilted design from the side. As you can see, it looks beautiful. It also comes in the black color. I personally love the white color finish, although it's a bit difficult to clean because eventually you will have some ground coffee around, but still, it looks really nice. This bright wooden color, the bright wooden cap with the golden writings here. Also a nice Eureka Oro logo from the back. As always, let's start from the bottom. The wooden base, it's magnetically attached to itself. It has small magnet here, sits right in place. And it has a tiny groove that allows you to let the dosing cup sit right in here. If you want to use it for filter, it has this tiny attachment to prevent static electricity from happening. Because you're gonna use filter ground coffee particles and you're gonna use the blower, some ground coffee might fly around. So if you use this attachment, you give it a tilt like this, put it in place, nothing will go out, everything will go in. And even ground coffee does not tend to stick here on this piece. Although initially we thought it will, it does not. It gets the job done. Super easy, practical. Coming from the top inside the grinding chute, you have a small declumper. If you can zoom here a bit, you can see this tiny piece. It's a zigzag shape. So this is basically the declumper that sits here inside the grinding chute. You can remove it by removing the screw here if you want, and you can leave it. What we found out that it does make the ground coffee really fluffy, super fluffy. However, the way that it makes it this way is that it keeps a bit of ground coffee behind it until it gathers and starts pushing through it. This is how it makes it fluffy, zero clumps. And it reduces the static electricity slightly. But this means that some ground coffee might be regrounded. So we did not notice that massive difference taste-wise, but we just wanted to test what will happen if we remove it, and it worked nice. It's up to you, I would say. Coming to the grinding dial, which is the new improvement by Eureka. So this is the new improved grinding dial. Previously, it was like from 1 to 10. You have to keep rotating, and sometimes you might lose the idea at which setting you were. So for instance, let's say you're at number 3 for espresso. Cold brew might be at number 3 on the second rotation. So sometimes you might lose count. Here what they did is that you have very accurate grinding dial with almost 90 numbers, like almost 20, so 90 after that you'll become 20 the next cycle. And when you rotate, here on top, it tells you like right now you're on the first rotation. When you go cursor, let's say like you're on the first rotation, your espresso was at number 4, and you want to go filter coffee, let's say, or cold brew, and you keep going, number 19, it's switched, number 4. Here you can see it's 1, so you're like on the second rotation, not on the 0 rotation, the first one. And if you go even coarser to the third rotation and so on, the same will go if you go finer. So this will give you like an idea at which rotation, which revolution you are at. It's super accurate. It's even more accurate than the previous grinding dial. We love this one for multiple reasons. 1, it's super accurate. 2, the idea that it reminds you which setting you were. 3, this will allow you to recalibrate the grinding dial. Basically, as these grinders offer different Burrs geometry, which we are coming to shortly, different Burrs geometry and different coating, your 0 might not be almost 0, because here we are speaking on a micron level, super accurate. So let's say, for instance, Burrs right now are touching at number 3, and I want to recalibrate. I want them to touch at number 0, so I can never go there, harm or damage the Burrs. So what you do is that you insert your Allen key here, and you disengage the grinding dial, you loosen it. At this point, you disengaged it, you rotate it, it goes to number 0. It's disengaged, basically it's not moving the Burrs. Then it's showing 0, you re-engage it, you tighten the dial, and you're good to go. Burrs are touching at number 0. That's it, it's that simple, that straightforward. Coming to the hopper itself, it has a nice shape. The silicone here is a bit dirty. This is the cup. You pour your coffee beans. It has opening here from the side. This metal opening has holes inside of it, so basically even if you close it and you want to push, air will still be able to pass through these holes. So I like the hopper. It's practical, really nice to use, and what I really like about it is that some grinders, like the one that we are testing right now, it's called DC63 conical burr grinder. Whenever you want to open the lid, it's very sticky, it's never practical. Sometimes it takes out the silicone with it. Here it sits perfectly flat, very nice, very durable. No matter how much you hit it, it's wonderful, strong. Open it, like really smooth hopper. The silicone with the lid itself. Some people like to leave it as is, like this. It looks also nice without the silicone blower. But like if you really want that 0.1 gram of retention, you want to make sure that it's all out, it's much better to have the silicone installed. You give it a slightly wiggle from the side, and it's back in place. Now the motor inside the Single Dose Pro has kind of the same wattage as the all-purpose Zero and all-purpose Libra, the one that we made in that video. However, this one is kind of more torqued and more tweaked at higher RPM, faster grinding time. So basically they designed it for people who want to use it at home, or let's say in a coffee shop. If you have some filtered coffee, you want single dose grinder for them. If you want some rare coffee beans to use, if you want decaf, any kind of purpose, you have it there. It will grind fast, it's durable. We personally went really heavy, hardcore on it, and ground around like 1 kilogram of coffee beans at Turkish ground coffee particles continuously, non-stop, and it had no issue at all. And surprisingly, this also brings me, I'll keep speaking about the quality and longevity, because this might be one of the reasons why you are considering these grinders. Nowadays, there are so many options on the market, and of course, it depends on your budget and your features preference. I want durability. It's similar to cars. Like you have different brands from different companies. Some people aim for Japanese cars, others aim for German cars, and the same with grinders. When we were grinding, it was totally our mistake. I left this upper attachment here attached, and I filled the hopper with coffee, and I kept grinding, and I forgot it. Like it was almost like 20 seconds. I went to bring the rest of the coffee beans, and I forgot that coffee was almost full here. So the ground coffee filled the dosing cup, and it started accumulating here up to the point that the grinding chute was filled with coffee, the burrs were filled with ground coffee, and they jammed. So this let the grinder stop working, and I removed the dosing cup, I cleaned the grinding chute clearly. Remember, this was already after grinding 1 kilogram of coffee beans. I cleaned the coffee chute, made sure no coffee stayed inside, turned the grinder back on, it went again like a butter, smoothly, no issues at all. Of course, don't do this, please. It was like totally unintentional, but thankfully, the Single Dose Pro had no issue with it. So right now I'm gonna show you how to change the burrs and speak about them one by one, each of them. So first of all, make sure your grinder is disconnected from electricity. Take the hopper off, turn the grinder backwards, and you come to the logo here. Has 2 clips. Yep, it came out. So as you can see, it has 2 hooks that sits in place. Once you remove them, you uncover the Phillips screwdriver. This is the first one. And then you come to the grinding dial from top. You have tiny screw here on the grinding dial. You also remove it. So basically when you are going coarser on the grinding dial, you are unthreading it from its mechanism. And it's out. You remove the upper cover and you see that? This brings me a very important subject. So I think I maybe opened the upper cover around 15 times, and even right now I open it, I forgot this tiny nut. So this really tiny nut, so this is the upper cover, and this is where the grinding dial will be sitting in. So the screw of the grinding dial will thread itself inside the nut, which will be sitting right here, you see. I do really wish if they found a way to keep it there, maybe close this piece. Why to keep it open? Because you really have to pay a lot of attention not to lose it. I've lost it many times. Thankfully, I found it each time. So keep that in mind. The upper cover, you have, this is the upper burr, underneath it the lower burr, and the motor from the inside. And then you hold the upper burr carrier and you have it out with you. You can see here the lower burr and kind of the retention. So this is a single dose grinder. However, there is kind of empty gaps inside the grinding chamber. And once ground coffee goes there, it stays there. It does not move. It's just filling those tiny gaps around here. It's not the best and it's not perfect, but I would say it's really good retention. Like it might be around 0.3, 0.4. They are filling the gaps, which is acceptable. Generally, when we use the blower, we get either 0.0 retention, 0.1, rarely 0.2. So basically, it's really nice. You'll not be able to notice it in espresso, and I would say it's acceptable standard range. So the lower burrs, they have 3 screws to keep them in place. The upper burr is a blind burr. You see here on the burr carrier. Basically, there are no screws. The way that these burrs are being held in place is from back. You have 4 screws that keep them in place. And Eureka as stock, let's speak about the burrs. It comes with this burrs geometry, which is kind of versatile burrs geometry. They fit a wide range of tastes. It gives you like a mid-range between clarity and body. Decent, good for filter, good for espresso, nothing crazy special. However, they offer you the option with a new upgrade, the series that are called Black Diamond burrs, to fit every needs. Initially, we loved these burrs, which are called all-purpose burrs. As you can see them here, they have the famous geometry similar to SSP multi-purpose burrs, and they do perform wonderfully. We tried them in espresso, we tried them in filter coffee. In espresso, they felt like maybe due to the high RPM and the black diamond coating, they give you that a little bit of extra body, extra sweetness over SSP multi-purpose burrs. And at the same time, you are still able to get that flavor separation, nice, enjoyable crispness. And we want to have strong, high clarity comparison when trying these burrs. So we compare them next to Option O Lagom 1 grinder. With that grinder, we've used massive 102 millimeter flat blind burrs. By SSP, they are high uniformity burrs, and those are super crisp, super clean. When we had 2 espresso shots right next to each other, comparing them and seeing the difference was more enjoyable, because when you compare the small details, especially like when you are trying to have the same parameters, like same extraction time, same dose, same coffee, of course, sometimes it gets tricky. So having that kind of difference in range, it helped in making the decision. So having them side by side, when trying the one from the Lagom one, like if you are saying to yourself, oh, this is super clean, nice, but I wished for extra sweetness, this one offered it. If you said, I want some extra body, these ones from Eureka Black Diamond multi-purpose, they offered it. And at the same time, when you're drinking these, you say like, oh, I want extra but less body, maybe more clarity, those offered it. So to put it in simple words, they are really multi-purpose. In filter, they are very enjoyable also. They do tend to give you extra sweetness and body slightly over the SSP 64mm burrs. After that, you have the black diamond burrs, which are similar geometry to the stock burrs, but coated with black diamond. Honestly, I was not able to find that much difference side by side. Difference, it's not that much clear or obvious in front of your head. Maybe it might be better for the longevity term if we are speaking like the coating will help in the sharpness of the burr and the longevity. So it's a good option if you love this geometry and the results that you're getting from them and you want to have something that's lasting more, less heat buildup, because coating will help in creating less heat for long grinding cycles. This is good geometry. After that, we wanted to try the brew version burrs. Basically, these burrs cannot go fine enough for espresso. The finest they can go, maybe very fine V60 or AirPress. These burrs geometry are called brew burrs. They're designed for coarser grinder settings. Once again, we had them next to the Lagom and we wanted to see how clean and crisp they were. Honestly, at this point, as we were testing it in V60, we did not see that much massive improvement over the multi-purpose geometry. Maybe because we are used to the multi-purpose geometry and we prefer it personally. Like, multi-purpose geometry just felt like it gave extra sweetness. Filter coffee was more interesting, if you may. These might be good options for people who love super light roasts. They want to use it as a single dose grinder for coffee shop for cold brew, French press. But I would say if you are not too much keen on having just like cold brew, let's say, you want something filter, sometimes make occasional espresso, and you still want that clarity, the multi-purpose are more enjoyable. Last but not least, we wanted to have their espresso burrs, which you can see are installed here. Basically, for those who really like dark roasted coffee beans, if you have too much clarity with dark roasted coffee beans, you'll be only tasting this harsh roasted notes, dark chocolate. It's not enjoyable without that creamy body. When you go dark roast, you want the creamy mouthfeel, the nuttiness, the dark chocolate, but with a creamy mouthfeel. If you have conical burrs and flat burrs, generally speaking, flat burrs give you higher clarity. So to make it fair comparison, we had it side by side with the DC63, which is a very nice grinder. Also, review is coming soon for dark roasted coffee beans. It gives you that creamy textured body for dark roasted coffee beans. How many times I said dark roasted coffee beans? Anyway, so we had them side by side. We used really nice dark roasted coffee. They are dark roasted, but they are really good quality dark roasted coffee beans. And yeah, we had them side by side from the conical and from these burrs. Surprisingly, you are able to tell difference, but they were very near and close. So with the conical burrs, you get that creamy mouthfeel, the nuttiness, the dark chocolate tasting notes, but it might felt a bit some of astringency if you pull the extraction time 30 seconds, 31. When you had them with these from the Eureka, they still felt like the astringency, it's not harsh. It tends to get you that point like, is it too clean? No, it's still enjoyable with dark roasted coffee beans. So they get the job done. Very enjoyable for dark roasted coffee beans lovers and good consideration. Let's put the burr carrier back on top, grind some coffee beans, show you how it sounds, and wrap this video up. One point before installing the burrs that we need to mention is aligning the burrs. So each grinder is different. Some grinders really need aligning them, others don't. With smaller geometries, it's less important. It's still important to align the burrs, but it's less important than really large geometry. We found the Single Dose Pro. Sometimes we really try to align the burrs, and no matter how much we try to shim them, we were not satisfied with the clean wipe. And we found out that most of these burrs do not need alignment, just clean, clearly. Make sure no ground coffee particles are left on the lower burr carrier or on top of the burr carrier. Put them inside and go ahead. No need to worry about alignment. The nice thing, if you want to hear for the burrs chirping and axing the burrs and checking for alignment, is that you don't need to put the entire cover, you don't need to play around the grinding dial. Just as you have the upper burr carrier, install it, you have 2 screws, tighten them and hold the grinder dial. Install it in place, basically re-thread it, and you can either turn the grinder, keep searching for the sharpen, or go finer and rotate the burrs with your fingers. You are able to do that until you hear them touching and sharpen. then you can check for the alignment if you want. It's kind of easier mechanism, just 2 screws, you remove the burrs, rather than other grinders you have to thread the hopper all the way back in, all the way back out. You keep going finer. When you are going finer midway, you can go ahead and install the locking screw of the grinding dial. So let's turn the grinder on without coffee beans inside of it. I wouldn't say it's the quietest grinder out there, but you can feel like the motor is going at a very high RPM, very strong. Anything you throw, coffee beans, super light, it will crush through them. For your coffee beans, and here you go. That's it. The Eureka Single Dose Pro. So to wrap this video up, we're generally happy with this grinder. I like it. It looks beautiful. The performance is very nice, durable. I like the fact of all of these Burrs options for anyone who wants to try. What I personally think, I cannot get over the fact of how much I loved the Zero all-purpose that we reviewed in that video. That one was just like really budget friendly. The stock geometry that's coming Burrs from the grinder, that are all-purpose, super wonderful. It's a small, tiny, has very nice performance. So personally, I keep leaning towards that grinder. Of course, it's cheaper. It does not have those wooden knobs, the base, the top, the tilted design, this much tilted design, less high performance than this one. But this one, it delivers, it checks the boxes. Changing the burrs, it's not extremely easy, and I do wish if it came as a stock with the all-purpose geometry. And yeah, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for Eureka again for sponsoring this video, and as always, huge thanks to you for enjoying our content, watching them, and sharing your opinion. Please, if you own the Single Dose Pro, tried it before, or think about getting it, feel free to share your comments in the section below. Everyone deserves to hear different feedbacks and opinion. We love to read your comments. Take care, and I'll see you really very soon in the next video. Take care. Bye. Burrs are touching number 0. Burrs are touching at number 0.